Haven't got that heat.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, massive thanks to you who's checking out the NGShip Podcast. My name is Ruby V. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I'm going to say this on every episode. Make sure that you start by subscribing to the channel, okay? Ruby V. There's a lot of dope stuff on here that I'm sure you haven't checked out just yet because my views ain't popping. So I need you to go ahead and check that out. Make sure the views is popping before we get into today's episode of the podcast. Now, today's episode of the podcast, I'm hosting a friend, someone who's also in the industry, someone who also trained me when I got into the game. I'm super excited about this conversation with the one and only Rae of Sunshine.
Miss
Rae.
Thank you.
What's up?
I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
I feel like, you're like, oh my gosh, Ray's here. And I'm like, I'm here. Like, do you know how many amazing people have been on this podcast?
Listen.
Should I to like,
Listen.
And now, here I am.
Yes,
So
here
thank
you are.
you.
Greatness.
Thank you.
Kings only.
Hey, okay. I will take it.
Karibu sana.
Thank you, Ruby.
How you been during this COVID time? It's been
Honestly,
a hectic period.
It has. It's been the most hectic period for
Yeah.
just so many reasons. I think everyone just adjusting to new normals.
Yeah.
First of all, the pandemic normals.
Yeah.
Social distance, mask, sanitize every 2 to 5 seconds. And then salary cuts.
Yo.
That was a whole adjustment on its own.
Yeah.
Family, people you
Yeah.
couldn't see because of lockdowns. Man, it was just tough. It was tough.
It's been hectic.
Yeah. How about you? How's it been like for you?
Same thing. I
Yeah.
think it's just the whole staying at home.
Yeah.
Of course, reducing movements. The cessation of public gatherings and events obviously hit us hard.
Oh man,
because,
events.
yeah, we would do,
events.
bruh. And then we have 60 more days.
Great.
Sirigali. But you know what? I think I'm gonna find a way to adjust within it. I think it's time. We've been this way for a couple months.
Yeah.
So the only thing that you have to do is adjust. And move on and
That's true.
find a way to make your money still,
I
regardless.
also like that we all sort of now have become introverts. It's nice. It used to be just us introverts, but now they know how we feel like. But yeah. Indoor living, yes.
Yo, man. But before we get into this podcast, of course, there's a lot we need to discuss as far as radio is concerned. There's some things we were talking about behind the scenes that we're going to get to talk about now.
Yes.
But I want to start with congrats on the new job.
Thank
SoundCity,
you.
baby.
I mean, do you know when you feel like this might be a game changer just
Yeah.
for African music in general? Cause, and we were just talking about this a week ago, like, you know how back in the day, Africans, like, we used to rate the artists who got international cosigns. It almost became like a thing. If you can get a Neo, a
Exactly.
Rick
It's like big
you're
dogs.
like really making it. And then
Yeah.
now it's like it's changed. Now they're looking for us so that they can keep... Because we are the wave now.
Yeah.
And I think we should take every chance to keep it, like, wavy. And SoundCity plays way more African music than it does Western music, which I thought was insanely awesome.
That's dope.
I mean, it's our time, so
that's dope. How are you feeling about this shift from Kiss to SoundCity?
It was, well, the shift actually happened because I took a me moment, which, very sad to say at this my big age, it was the first time I did something.
I'm sure a lot of people haven't had like me time,
right?
Properly.
Or even just me moments, like to ask yourself, are you happy? And do you maybe need to take care of your mental first? Because I had an anxiety disorder. I was actually diagnosed with one.
Whoa.
It was the first time that I'd ever, I'm ashamed to say I was one of those guys that thought anxiety wasn't a real disease. I thought it was being nervous.
Yeah.
And you spend so much of your life of people telling you, if only you were just more confident, if only you were just not realizing you might have been dealing with something.
Yeah.
And then so I started therapy. And I realized that it's things that you might have gone through years ago that you didn't properly get over, and now they're showing themselves in very many ways. So you think you're like, just not a confident person, but there's a lot of things that you have to unpack to realize, where does that come from though? Because we're all born just happy and just so,
naked.
But I'm happy because that shift for me, when I took that moment, I realized I wouldn't have been as productive at Kiss FM where I was at, and I loved that show so much. But I needed to take because then you can't, be somewhere where you're just, everything is a trigger. Every little email, every little thing, every waking up, the fact that you have to, everything is a trigger. You just take a step back and fix yourself. And I did. Facts. So I'm happy that I did.
So you've spoken about this anxiety disorder, and it's great that we're talking about it on this show, because I try to push the mental health agenda as much as possible. Like in whatever space, like I could be having a conversation with a CEO and I'll just be like, yo, what you know about mental health though? Because I feel like these are conversations that definitely need to be had out there more in the open.
True.
And I think being in the entertainment space, people think that, oh, you always sound so happy. Do you ever have bad days? And it's like, bruh, I was crying in the middle of that link, but
you didn't know. You didn't see it before, but I had to do this to get my eyes to dry up. Yeah, I know.
So for you to get to the point where you are actually diagnosed with the anxiety disorder, what happened? Like, how did you get to the point where you were like, you know what, I gotta check in and get this help for real?
So the all of 2020, I noticed that I would have panic attacks, and they would just be, I mean, the first time I had it, I just thought, like maybe you are sad about something and then you're also facing something else. So you cry. You have a moment where you just like break down and cry. And you cry so much that you're trying to catch your breath. I thought that's what that was. But then sometimes it would happen out of nowhere. I'd be sad and then the breathing would just get hypervent. Like it'd just be like, what is happening? I'm losing my breath. It's like I've ran a marathon and I'm struggling to catch it. And it would happen a couple of times, like a number of times. And then I thought maybe it's just me. Again, when you haven't dealt with stuff in your life and everything is a trigger, it can make you blame the wrong thing, which is why I decided to opt for therapy, because I had one nervous breakdown once at a hospital. Whoa. Yeah, so I wasn't feeling too good. I remember just feeling so like overwhelmed and tired, like I'm like 10 times malaria. So I went to get checked, but at the hospital waiting room, I broke down. Like I was crying inside my mask. I was really trying to make no one see. But the nurse at the reception saw, and she was like, "Would you like me to take you to another waiting space?" I was like, "Yeah, I do." We went and I cried. I bawled out, and I had another one of those breakdown. Yeah, and when I went to get checked, they did a couple of tests, and the doctor said, this could either be something wrong with your thyroid gland because it's hormonal or something. But to be honest, it feels like you might be having a nervous breakdown, and maybe you should look into getting help, because some of these conditions are medicatable, and you could actually function like a normal person. Yeah. Because I told him about how many times I've had the panic attacks, and that's when I realized, okay, 2021, maybe take this thing seriously. Yeah. And I'm so happy I did, because it's true, it is fixable, and you can actually reset factory settings and go back to almost having a great life. So yeah. Now,
since we're on the topic, and you talked about going to therapy.
Yeah.
How long has it been now?
I think this should be about maybe 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a while.
It is a while. It is a while. I mean, it's once a week sessions, so it doesn't feel like a while to me. And there'll be weeks when you don't have enough time or something else came up, so you push it to the next week that way. So. But it's been good.
How's it been?
Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know how therapy is for everyone else, but I like the trying to figure yourself out. I thought that therapy was going to be answers. So tell me why I feel this way.
Yeah.
And then what do I do to make it stop? When it was really me opening up and going on a journey inside my mind, okay, and then what happens? So you lost your dad. Okay, did you really grieve? How does that make you feel? Do you feel anger? Do you feel, because there's processes of grief, different stages of everything. And I think when you have a professional with you and they talk you through the science behind things, it's almost like having answers. Oh, that explains it. That's why I feel this way. Yeah. So it's been 5 months of just trying to discover myself and building myself back up. Because
dope.
Yeah.
What new things are you discovering about Rae?
Man,
what's one thing like you found out in this 5-6 months?
Yeah.
And you're like, hold on. How did I not know that about me?
Man, I mean I don't have to put so much weight on anyone else's opinion but myself. Because I think we're in an industry where you get judged pretty much for everything. Your whole work is being judged. It's based on numbers. It's how many people actually get to listen
people
to
are looking at this video right now. They're like, what do they have on? Like they're not even listening to what we're saying. It's like, I don't even like how they did that.
Yo, what's so hurt? Let me tell you, my one, so one of my goals was to be able to be out in public with no makeup on. To be honest,
because I remember for the longest time you were like, hell no.
I could be going to get bread at the kiosk. Manze, I've just woken up, raised down, liner, abana, you know.
What?
And yeah, and it's honestly, it's like, but why though?
Yeah.
And I figured out it was more me not accepting me, not other people, because some people really genuinely don't care.
Honestly, people don't.
They only care when you make them care. So
yeah.
That's been the one thing I can say I've achieved is just being able to be comfortable in my own skin, how I look, how I feel. So that I'm still continuing on to work on, but I love how I've gotten so far.
That's
in
dope.
That process.
That's dope. You're telling me about mirror therapy.
Yes.
Tell me about that. Like, break it down for me.
Yeah, shout out to my therapist. She's so cool. She's like, her name is Daisy. Let me just shout her out. She has an amazing. Akona kampuni yake inaitwa Convo Care. But this she's very like trying to find new and cool ways to help you deal with stuff. So I think she mentioned it as like something she saw online or something. Mirror therapy is waking up every day and then telling yourself nice things about yourself to the mirror, like to your own reflection, preferably before you go on your day. Like, you should hear the most amazing compliments from yourself.
It's like your good morning text to yourself.
Yeah, and I didn't think like it would, because it feels, there's days you wake up feeling like crap.
Yeah.
But even on those days, if you're in the mirror and you go, you want to kill it today, you're amazing.
You feel better.
You're kind. Imagine you got this. You actually do. You feel really good. So I've been doing that, and it helps. There's days I forget, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it helps.
That's really dope.
Mirror therapy. Are you going to try it?
Yeah. I mean, I've never actually like, people talk to me and I tell them like I'm kind of shy. And I'm kind of like very, what's it called? When you're super aware that people are watching you, and I don't like that. Like, for me even to get comfortable in front of a camera, it took me a little bit of time because I was just like, fuck it, whatever,
and
I'll do it.
And people don't believe it because
people don't believe it.
You're
like,
on stage.
Exactly.
They're like, you can't be
I'd be on
shy.
stage like this. There's one time actually I remember when we were doing, I was hosting African Nouveau. Yeah. And honestly, to me, I did a terrible job, but like I had people walking up to me, they're like, oh my god, the energy, and I'm like, what? But I think that is something that I'll definitely have to try. One thing that I do try is to try to watch my thoughts. Like I was telling you, there's a meditation app.
Yes.
Especially this sleep single. It's called Let's Meditate, Fab. If you're on Android, please go and get it. I noticed they don't have it on App Store. And like it makes me sad because
the first app that's not on App Store, like Apple App Store, it's just for us Android people.
Oh my god,
good.
It's a dope app. You should get it. So they say like when someone wants to talk bad about somebody that you love, you will stop them and tell them, hey, yo, come through. Like, where are you going with this? But then you don't stop yourself when you're doing that to yourself, and you're your best friend. You're your own person. Man. And when the cells within your body, even if you're making a joke, I'd be stupid sometimes. Like the cells in your body don't know that's a joke.
Whoa.
Yeah, so if they will start internalizing that, and that's how you manifest like stupidity into your life and shit. Like
guys, I don't know, that just sounded so.
I'm serious.
I've manifested this stupidity.
I'm serious. It's like,
but it's
manifestation
true,
is attracting, right? That's how you attract it, because you've already spoken it. They say word is bond, and the Bible even says like the most powerful tongue can fell nations or whatever, something like that. I'm rusty. It's been a minute since I went to church, but I
brought the Bible up, like it's real when you go back to the Bible.
Yeah, for real. But it's something that definitely people need to watch, like how you speak to yourself. Catch yourself in the day saying like, "Damn, I'd be stupid." You just be like, "Listen,"
or like, "I'm not good enough." Or, "You should just get someone else."
When I do stuff like that, I say like, I do stupid things sometimes. Not I'm stupid. Like, that was dumb. I shouldn't have done that. Like, I would have done it differently instead of telling myself and cursing myself with, you ain't good. And then now I start wondering, like, why everything else in my life is also making it harder for me to live.
That so much.
Which also messes up my mental further, because I'm like, I don't understand putting in the right effort. But if you're putting in the right effort and also putting in the an amount of negativity aside, is like +1 - 1, which is
you're just
0.
taking yourself back.
Exactly.
Do you know, you've just said that and I've realized today. So I got back to blogging. I haven't blogged in a long time.
Okay, girl.
Right?
Listen, I blogged yesterday too.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. So tell me about yours first.
No, because you said watch your thoughts as one of the lessons or the things you've adopted into your life. I say the biggest lesson for me is just being kind to myself. You know how we beat ourselves up over everything? It happens, and social media amplifies it, yeah? Because you already have your own expectations of yourself. You want to be great, no one wants to fail. And then you fail, and then you're like, crap, I've let myself down. Or you try it, the worst part is you try it like once or twice, or the third time you're still failing, you're like, maybe this should just stop. And so you get hard on yourself, and then you end up feeling like, I'm just going to do it because I'm supposed to do it. But you shouldn't do that. You should just be kind to yourself. Because, I mean, it's you though. Like, imagine it's okay to fail, and it's okay to keep trying. Like, and that's what I'm trying to do for myself, just to be kind to myself, not to beat myself up, not to feel bad over someone else's accomplishments, because sometimes on social media, you just be having a good day, get online, and the person you went to school with in primary is out here living what life, and you're like, but I've worked so hard.
When will it be my turn? I go through that a lot.
Everyone does.
And I think something else that I learned at some mental health lunch conference thing is the people who give up, those aren't the special ones. The special people are the ones who you see businesses running around. There's a million people whose businesses are not standing. So when you're quitting on whatever it is that you think like, oh, I can't do this, trust me, you're part of the unspecial pile. So you following through on the thing that you decided that you would do is, you conquering and coming out on top on that pile.
I like that. I want to be on the special pile.
I'm trying to be. That's what I tell myself every day. Every time I try and cut things, some work, some don't work. I just be like, if I give up on it, I'll be in the unspecial pile.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I have to see it through.
You're such a good friend to have. Everyone needs a Ruby in their life. TEDx just basically speaker. Going to be like, don't do it, don't give up. You'll be in the unspecial part. Girl, get up, let's do this.
Get up, fam. Get up, fam.
I love it.
We're just about to get into a short commercial break. This is your opportunity to take a breather for 2 seconds. Go to subscribe to this channel, okay? Go let your homies know that there's a special conversation happening on there, and I'll see you in 2 seconds. Yo, welcome back to this episode of the NGShip Podcast. A massive shout out to you if you're still tuned in or you have just checked in. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel, because you subscribing, liking, dropping me a comment, it makes YouTube think I'm popular. So this video is gonna show up on other people's timelines, and we're having some dope conversations on here. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to share this.
I love how honest you are. Just subscribe. I am trying to get popping.
Listen, these are life-changing conversations. I'm trying to have everybody participate in this in one way or another. Okay. It's true. Right. Someone has told me, 2-3 people have told me you changed my life.
Oh, you have changed my life. Am I person number 3? Am I the third? The fourth? 4 people have told her.
Testimony. No, for real. All right, as we get on with this conversation, actually, by the way, we can have a little massive shout out to Amor Wines for this
packaging.
One. Moscato, baby.
I love anything that has color, and this has so much, and it's so pretty.
It tastes so good.
Moscato.
It tastes so good.
All right.
You know what? We should get into that for this half. Yeah.
We probably should. Are you going to do the honors?
Yes.
Let's just start with one. And then we can pace ourselves.
Yeah.
I really love the take. Whenever I have conversations, sometimes I find myself asking myself what's the takeaway from especially when you talk to awesome people, and not those people who sit and talking to you. So I'm gonna find out.
It's a lecture.
No, but it's great when you go home and you go, that was nice. Now I know to watch my thoughts.
Yep.
Now I know to download an app that could help me with some stuff. It's nice. It's
you can do better. You got this.
Thank you.
And you're your own best friend. You're your own best friend. Everybody else, I told this to my sister. Everybody else can only feel your pain. They're not going to feel it for you.
No.
So as you navigate this realm that we've been given, no one will ever be able to walk it through your eyes.
That's true.
So if you're the only one who's shaped this experience, why would you let outside things come and determine?
And all the more reason to be kind to yourself. You're the only one going through what you're going through.
Exactly.
So you're the only one to tell yourself, it's okay, we got this. It's
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
I love it.
Cheers to that. Cheers
I love
to
it.
that. I want us to get into the whole radio journey.
Okay.
How did you first land at Homeboyz Radio? Because it was Homeboyz Radio, then Kiss,
Yes.
and then now SoundCity.
Actually, it was Uptown Radio.
Oh wait, yes.
Yes.
You were doing the reggae dance hall thing.
I had a show called The Meltdown. What are you talking about? The Saturday Meltdown.
Okay.
I was 10 till 1, I think. And yeah. So I was at USA Radio. I was friends with Kafi, Maxi, and Frankie at the time. We had a huge show called A Big Tune. And it was dancehall. It was, I think, Tuesdays and Thursdays at USIU. You ever know that show on a radio station where it's the only show the station is known for? Like, it's like on Tuesdays, the rest of you who have been doing radio, thank you for filling in. We were really waiting for
Our guys are here.
And so they went online and followed G Money. He had just gone to Kenya. And of course, his tagline was the dancehall ambassador. They're a dancehall show.
Yeah.
So they wanted to host him on the show. And they did. He actually came. He's so down to earth. He came.
Oh.
When he showed up, all I remember it became like a legend. Because he came out of the studio, got on the phone with DJ John and told him, yo, these kids are doing what you and I do, but on virtual DJ.
Wow.
Just their computers, like it's crazy. We need to have them. That's how they got onto Uptown.
That's dope.
And when they got onto Uptown, this is where I say it's so important to make really good friendships and networks. Because they got in, G-Man was like, we should, make the station huger, bigger, get more presenters, a female voice. Because Heno was there, the 3 boys were there, G-Money was there. And then you did like a female voice. And Kafi came and told me, yo, demo today, like do it. Do you know what demo I sent him? Shout out to my friend Felicia. I think we were freshmen or sophomores, like first or second year. We don't know nothing about Adobe Audition or editing. Took us like a whole afternoon from noon until like 4 to like package a 3-minute. And then you know what? It was from my health show. I had a health show. You're going to send G Money 3 minutes of you talking about health things.
Wow.
And that's the demo that got me where I am today.
Wow.
So that's my first time, and I was so happy. I was so nervous. I just told a friend of mine today who was a bit nervous to do a radio show. Told him, you are so lucky. Me, my first show was so crap. I feel like I must have said Mavado was a music group, or like Peter Tosh was alive and he wasn't.
Damn.
I called Agent Sasko Sako instead of Sasko.
Wow.
And dancehall fans do not let you go with some of these mistakes.
They're like hip-hop fans.
I was like a hashtag. I wasn't on Twitter, but there was a hashtag fail. And I nearly quit radio. That first show, that I never almost came back. And G Money and Corinne sat me down during the week and they told me, you can't ever change yourself for radio. You'd rather attract the people who love you for you the way you are. Don't change. Don't try to act like a reggae person. If that's not you, it's not you. But you can still be you, and the people who will run with
Gravitate towards you.
That's how it all started.
That's dope.
Went on to Homeboyz. I was so thirsty to just be in radio because my parents didn't think it was a real career. For real, my dad died thinking...
Wazazi wangu, I know you're watching this.
Same was up.
Same was up.
Like, he used to tell me, it's a nice hobby. Now, when you graduate, I have a few places in mind. And I'm like, this is where I want to be. But when I joined it, you know how you work your way up? You and I work. I feel like you're the one person that truly understands what working your way up means.
Do you know, I don't even feel like I know what up is because I'm still in the trenches, honestly.
You can't even say that. Hip-hop culture?
I don't know.
You can't even say that. How about you introduced us to half the trap artists in Kenya just now? I'm sorry, she doesn't know what up is? Someone tell her in the comment section, maybe. You know?
I'll be trying.
It's amazing. So that's it. You were there when we were all trying to come up. We did entertainment news.
Yes.
Remember when we used to go for events to cover things? Do you understand what it's like to come for a shift from 8 in the morning because your entertainment news have to go on at 8:30? Leave like 6 is done, but you have an event, so you're going to the event and you'll be there till 3 a.m.
And then
you
come
still
back
have the 8 in the morning the next day, and you're on pretty much nothing.
Survival for the fittest is what it was. I think it's just the passion. You know, I think right now a lot of people get into the entertainment space without knowing what they want or thinking that it's the most easy way to get popular. For me, it wasn't about getting popular. It was about like, all right, cool. They said I could do this radio thing. Let's figure it out. Let's do this. And everything else just came out from that. And
which is one thing you should never lose. I think if you lose your passion for something, just go home.
True.
figure out what, because it'll kill you to do something you don't like.
Yeah.
It really will, whether it's radio or whatever else it is. Find a reason to like it then, or something. Just because that's the time when passion really paid off. We go with quit a million times. But passion really, is the glue that keeps you doing what you're doing.
I swear. Tell me about some of your highlights at Homeboyz Radio, because when you were there is when there was Sepetuka. There was like a whole lot of things happening.
I think I'm officially going to stop using, I might not, the TBT picture of me and DJ Envy.
You know, I was just about to ask you about that. I'm like, are we gonna get it again?
You must. I'm sorry. I feel like that's gonna be my annual. Once every year, I will post up.
The one picture you're just like, listen.
How is it? They brought all the DJs. We had 3 domes. Hey, Homeboyz is something else, man. Heavy K.
Yeah.
Like all the Kwaito South African house people.
You know, when we were doing like class in the sun, it would be like such a small private event, but it's like happening. It's like, what is...
It felt like you are exclusively at this artist's house. Like you're just...
Where AKA came out here for the first time.
AKA came.
And then,
come on.
Girls, we were trying to sing along, but we don't really know.
You're waiting for the chorus.
The only songs we do are congratulated because it was playing on the station every day, every hour. They're like, yo, before AKA comes to Kenya, they gotta know this song.
I actually have a funny story about AKA.
Yeah.
This is where I feel like I learned the value of research as a radio presenter, because I thought that someone like you or Corrine would get to interview him because he's a hip-hop guy. Mm-hmm. You guys are hip-hop presenters. I know him just how everyone else knows him. He's AKA. So he comes in, and Frankie's like, you have to ask him about the Casper and your vest beef. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Casper, who? Back then, I know. I didn't know. I should have done my research, right? But I did it. I asked, and I think I mispronounced Casper and your vest. What did AKA do? He ran with it.
Yeah, he was like, you see, you don't even know his name.
You don't even know. Casper and your vest fans tore that interview. Who's this interviewer? Why did she even get this job? I was like, it's YouTube. And then a Homeboyz Radio, it's one of the, because of how many comments it got, it became one of the most popular videos. I had to keep telling the digital guys, please, can we delete it? Yeah. You can't push it down to just don't.
It's too much. It's too much.
And which sucks because I actually really like Casper Nyovest and his music. So
Casper had a very dope album called Any Minute Now. I like it, but we're not here to talk about Casper or AKA. AKA has a whole scandalous situation that I do not even want to get into because like that just needs a podcast on its own. Tell me about your lows on radio, because we of course we talked about the whole, because people hear you happy all the time, always smiling. They're just like, oh my God, how do you stay on battery or something?
So a few things I feel like, you want to tell people who are joining media and like set your you're not all gonna get on My Nakagani money. Let's just be very frank. You will earn basic salary.
A huge percentage of y'all.
You will earn basic pay.
Wait, us.
Even while you're
Please.
on. You will earn basic pay even when you're on prime time radio, or you will. It happens. You earn your stripes. The people who earn what they earn, they've been here for years, and they will want some basic pay. It's just that a long time ago. There are a lot of people also in this industry that are faking it to make it. And my lowest low, something I struggle with, to be honest, to this day, is how fame is a currency in our... I don't know if you understand this. Let me try to explain.
Definitely.
Right?
I do. The more popular you are, the higher the chances of you nabbing whatever you want.
Exactly. Like you'll walk into... You have talent, yes.
Good.
But someone who's famous walks in the door after you, chances of them getting whatever it is you were trying to negotiate for, much higher. Yeah. So I feel like that's the one thing I still struggle with. Some of my lows were having to still do a show after we lost Natani. Yeah. So it was a co-worker of ours, a friend of ours, and I had the show the weekend after we found out he was missing. Then we found out he passed away. Yeah. I don't think there's been a harder show. I must have done only like 2 links a show or 3 links.
It was a hectic time.
Even post like things like when there's violence in Kenya or something bad's happening in the country and you have to go on air, and your show isn't a talk show, so you can't be like, let's talk about why people are killing each other. You still have to be like, that's Justin Bieber, woohoo, yay!
And did you guys see the Justin video, the funny video by Bieber where he did this thing where it's like, bro, just no.
So there's been those for sure, but I've learned that sometimes it's a great escape also. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm still trying to figure out, but for a couple of hours a day, you don't get to be you. So you don't get to like carry all the problems that Rae Kiragu has. Yeah. Rae Kiragu can just be the fun person that gets to listen to music, have awesome,
Yeah. I think that's also something I do when I get into studio.
Yes.
That is honestly my happy space. I get on there and then I forget that I was crying or I'm hungry or I ate or like I'm stressed about life. I just get there for those 3 hours. Yes. But I get on there and everything is off for me.
Yeah.
I've done some shows where like I wasn't really great at all. Days where you're struggling to get out of bed, but you know, like if you don't show up for this show, it's like, oh please,
I know.
See each other, and it's like, but then, yeah, it's hectic. But I guess you learn how to work with it and move on, and how to manage it also. And I guess also because now I speak about mental health more, you learn how to be, like I guess people's big sister. Or just sister, or just homie. It's like you can tell me what's up, man. Let's kick it.
Yeah.
But it does get hectic. It does get hectic a lot. Who are some of the people that you've met that you've actually been blown away by, both local and international?
Oh, wow. So, man, that's a really good question. Like, met during my radio journey, right? Someone I met that blew me away, Adialo Nyango. I don't think I've met anyone who's more self-aware. Like, self-aware. Like, me, I know myself. Or at least I'm doing, like, me knowing myself is an actual priority in my life. I'm going to know what works for me, what doesn't. I'm going to walk away from things that don't and be okay with it. I love how intentional she is with putting happiness first. I had, like, the best conversation with her on one of my shows. And her podcast has gone so far and she's winning. And I think because she's gone so far with what she's doing, she's a perfect example of how it's okay to be yourself, yo. And you will win regardless. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you.
Yeah.
So that blew me away. Internationally, such a huge fan of like Yemi Alade.
Okay.
I remember the first time I didn't interview her.
She's so beautiful.
And she's so down to earth. I didn't interview her. I was told, hey, Rae, take her to the recording studio to do drops. And so I'm here telling her, okay, do this show. Okay, and then this show. And then they're all written down. And I was so shy. She was walking. I was like, can you also do for mine? I mean, it's not a big show. It's just on the weekends. And it's like...
Let's do something.
When she did, for me, she sang. And I thought, wow, I was no one to you, but you put in, oh, man. So to this day, whenever Yemi Alade, she could sing Ba Ba Black Ship. I'm going to be like, I'm buying that album. It's deep. It's the buy and the Black Ship for me. You know,
that's
it's
dope.
just... Yeah.
That's dope.
That was really nice.
Now we've talked about something that you've learned about Rae during the therapy journey.
Yes.
What is one thing that you did learn about Rae during the radio journey? Or that you have learned so far? Yeah.
I've learned to believe in myself, in my own awesomeness. And that when that mic goes on, only person people hear is you. So whoever tries to mess up your mood, whoever tries to, kill your energy, when you go on that mic, to the listener, who are they? No one. It's just you. And it used to feel bad because sometimes like, no, I'm gonna, have to but I took that and turned it around into, but I'm me. And there's only one me.
Yeah.
I didn't choose to sound how I sound. You didn't choose to sound how you sound. You just are. So to embrace it and just have fun.
Yeah.
And the best part about radio, I feel, is the discovery never ends. You'll always find out something about yourself.
Yeah.
As you keep going, which makes it the best job ever. Because then it's like, oh, this is new.
Oh, and it's fun.
Yeah, I could do this.
It's fun.
And then just the people that get to listen to you and make you feel like you know each other when you've never met. You meet them and they'll tell you, I'm Richard. Who? No, I'm at the underscore.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, I see you online. I've never met you. I love it.
That's dope.
Yeah, man.
That's dope. Now, the question that everybody wants to find out.
Okay.
Does Rae got a name? Yes, people. I did it. I asked her. Please, no caps on this.
No caps?
Yeah.
Okay.
No capping on this
real
podcast.
Truth.
We should have given you a Bible.
I feel like...
Nothing but the truth.
I do.
Ooh, okay. Okay, how's that going?
It's actually going well.
Yeah.
And I am liking it. And it is very intentional in my life. So I'm liking this phase of me. because I'm doing this very self-aware.
Yeah.
And I like it.
That's dope.
Thank you.
Still supportive of the mental journey.
Very supportive of the mental journey. He's been on one himself, so
Okay.
it's like
That's dope.
and it's great when
so
you're
you guys
on
are
the same
like
page.
each other's shoulder, like.
Well, he's more on my shoulder, to be honest.
Okay.
I feel like I've just been I've been doing more leaning on.
I'm panicking.
No, I do this to you
because somebody
sometimes.
stepped on me. I mean, sometimes anything could set you off. For real, for real. Anything could set you
Someone
off.
could look at you the wrong way.
Yeah, and it's like,
you know,
but why?
I know.
Like, is this something? I didn't even say anything. Yeah, I know. Talk to me about Alexis. She's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Tell me, first of all, starting off from being like a young mom.
Yeah.
Now, as we wrap up this conversation, because I know a lot of people, including myself, were just like, babies, I don't know about all that.
There are a lot of responsibilities.
They are. So tell me how that journey, how that experience being a young mom,
man.
also being in the game, also working out your mental wellness as well, and raising this kid who you want to be the best version of themselves that they possibly can be.
Oof. First thing I found out getting into momhood was a child is not you or her dad or his dad. It's just a whole other person. So whatever relationship you have with this person's dad or this kid's father or whatever, that's on you and that person. There's a whole other person that should not have to bear the brunt of that, because a lot of that happens.
Yeah.
Then the responsibility really checks in really fast. And you realize, okay, so I need a savings. School fees will be here in 3 years. And keeps getting higher and higher as they grow older. So it also puts a lot of discipline in yourself, because then you have to set aside goals.
Yeah.
What do I want to do? How much should I earn? Where should I be in life? Where and also cuts off the friendships that you know aren't good for you. Although that happens magically, it's just like a God-given gift when you have a child. People who aren't there for you for the right reasons, they split. They just go away, and that's okay. And then also she teaches me a lot about life and how to let go of stuff, because Alexis lives in a world that I don't live in. Like, when I can have a horrible day, get home and she's like, Mom! It's like I'm a hero. It's like, to the world I might be crap, but to this one individual, I'm
super
everything.
mom.
Excuse you, but I'm everything to one person.
That's beautiful.
And it's really nice. So,
that's beautiful.
That's the best thing about motherhood to me.
We have 2 minutes. Yes. I want to ask you one last question. Do we still have 2 minutes? Do we? Yeah, we do.
All right.
I want to ask, when you first got news, because this was like you in your 20s, right? Yes. Mid-20s, right? Yeah. And you're just trying to figure your life out. Well, we were working.
Yeah. Okay. At that time, it's true.
You're working with superstars. It's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get there. Now I have a child. No. I'm like, is this child going to hinder the process of me getting there? Did you ever have thoughts where you're just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this pregnancy?
I did.
And what happened?
I did. I was really scared when I found out. I don't think I've told this like in public.
Yeah, but this is when I
found out. I think I took like 3 or 4 pregnancy tests each time, hoping
the last one had expired.
Just come back. I know you were wrong the last 3 times. This is the one. It's gonna say negative. And my sister was with me. She's like, Kwanzaa, they were so bright. Like, it's like it was gonna scream at you, dude, you're pregnant. So it was really scary. I felt like I cannot. The first thought was, I can't do this. It's too much. And my mom is one of the best people in the world, because her reaction, because I was unmarried. I don't even think we were in a relationship where we'd spoken about the future together. So it was like, oh crap. And my mom, when I told her, she said, we're going to talk to one person before you make your decision, because ultimately it's your decision. Let's go talk to someone. And the person told me to think about everything. And she literally, everything I would say, she had a counter reaction to. She asked me, why don't you think you can do this? I said, because I'm young, I don't earn enough money. And she has a clinic in St. Joseph, Kangemi. Her name is Julia, she was a nurse. She was like, you don't think you have enough money? I can tell you, there's a 16-year-old who just came in here, very beautiful baby girl. And she sells mboga, apatu chini. So you don't have enough money, you work for radio, you have, and for real, I had more money than obviously that girl. Okay, fine. So I'm there. Let me tell you, people will judge me. And
what will people say?
Guys are gonna, I'm like, okay, they'll say it. Today, tomorrow, they'll find something new to say. Anything else? I was like, no, the biggest thing for me was my mom, because I knew she might have just been trying to act like nice, and I knew at some point she maybe will bring it up as in an argument, like, that's just no wonder you
bringing me children here, like I haven't raised you.
She said, we'll take care of your mom. that done deal. Now anything else I realized, all my fears were actually in my head. And I said, you know what? Let it happen. And it was honestly the best decision I've ever made in my life, and I can't see it in my life now any other way. Yeah.
She's so cute.
She really is,
my
though.
God.
You seen her hair? Like, I took her to the salon the other day, and I was like, oh my God, these are not my jeans. Because I know my hair doesn't get this long.
But we're gonna take one for Alexis.
I'll take one for Alexis.
Oh man, she's so beautiful.
I don't think I've told anyone that story. Thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing, man. Thank you for being comfortable enough to share. Because we have really gotten into a lot, like quite a bit. This was a dope conversation. I think the best thing about having such a conversation is that we're radio people, so you know how to balance out the serious shit with like, haha, I was joking.
I know.
But then it's like back to the business still. Yeah, so that was really, really
Thank
dope.
you.
One thing that you would love for people to be mindful of on their mental health journey, whatever part it is that they're at, whether they're in therapy, whether they're thinking about therapy, whether they know that there's a situation, whether they're in destructive habits that they know they need to get out of, whether they're in like drug situations, alcohol to drown their sorrows. What is one major thing that you would tell them that you have taken away from your journey that you think they should be mindful of or they should remember as we wrap up the convo?
I would just say, again, be kind to yourself. Whatever it is you're going through, it might suck. It might really suck. You might have gone through it a couple of times even. Don't beat yourself up, because only you are going through what you're going through. And the person to talk you out or, of things is you. Same way you're talking yourself into doing things, imagine you have the same power to not. And just because you've talked to people that didn't give you the help you thought you needed doesn't mean it's not out there. So reach out.
Yeah.
Reach out and reach out time and time again. Say it, I've given up after reaching out to 1 million people.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't, then you're really giving up on yourself. You're the only one. You're your own superpower. And you're powerful, man. You could take yourself anywhere.
Amen.
So just believe it.
Love that. If that is not reason enough for you to subscribe, I don't know what is.
You better have already. You better have already.
The message of this podcast is that you need to subscribe to this channel.
Basically. All the rest, ignore everything else. That's really the whole point.
But subscribe first. Subscribe and then remember to be kind to yourself. Or be kind to yourself while subscribing. You know?
Probably better.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much,
And be your
Ruby.
brother's keeper. You can share this podcast all over. Thank you so much for making the time,
welcome.
for coming through, for sharing.
Yes.
I mean, like this is probably like a part one. We could get into another one and another one and another. We could do a whole thing.
So.
I know. We gotta let her go. It's all good. We've wrapped up. I hope you've had fun.
I had so much and
Little
wine. So thank you.
Moscato.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I want
Thank
to apologize for 2 of my nails going missing, just because I know they'll be in the comment section somewhere. I'm just saying, I'm aware.
Listen, this is how we go viral.
This is not the 2 nails. Did you see her nails though? Be kind to yourself, Rae. Get your nails done.
It's like, while we talk about kindness, did you see what they was looking like?
She needs to really be kind to her nails, is what she needs to do, perhaps. Thanks, man.
Fam, we're going to finish the foolery right here, man. And thank you for checking out the NGShip Podcast. A lot more episodes in store for you. Go and check out previous episodes. Season 1 and 2 are on audio, but they're available on this YouTube channel. They're also available on distribution platforms, whichever one you like: Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Go check Pocket Cast. Go check that out. And of course, this podcast is also the audio format is gonna be shared on Anchor and all these other platforms, but the video is gonna be on here so you can consume the podcast in whichever way you would like. I would really, I cannot stress this enough. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. Okay, we're being intentional with the conversations that we have on here, and I'm sure that whether you listen to one thing or the whole thing, you will walk away with something. And your subscription, you dropping me a comment, you giving me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this or any other video on my channel actually boosts it, because like YouTube will think that shit is happening greatly over here, you know? And then now they'll make my shit be seen by other people who need it. And then now, you know, we get the views, we get stuff popping. All right. So I'm going to catch you on the next episode of the KingShip Podcast. SoundCity, let me just, you know, this is independent, so we can give you a plug.
Yeah, thanks. SoundCity, 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. It's that home run. So whether your day was good or bad, you can always hit that home run on SoundCity 88.5 Nairobi. It's the wine.
Thank you for watching, fam. Peace.